so this is called the Plaza of Hell. And so in the Toltec mythology, they believe that heaven and hell are both on this earth, right? And it's an analogy of hell. And so the Toltecs were, I don't want to say this, they were the medicine men, the wisdom keepers, the astrologers, and of course, if you look at actual history, like our written history, it says that, well, the Olmecs were here, and then the Toltecs, and then the Aztecs and the Mayans. But the truth is, the Toltecs exist today. So the Toltecs existed through the whole culture. And in the edge of the Aztecs, they were revered. They were the wisdom, the medicine people. Right? I read a story once, it's like they were royalty, but not so much like we know royalty. They were just really honored for the wisdom and medicine that they carried. And what happened 500 years ago, talk about the prophecy, is they had to go underground. Right? And so then, some teachers started popping up in the 70s, Carlos Castaneda, bringing this wisdom out, and then Miguel, of course, and his mother, bringing the wisdom out. And really, to me, it's not a religion. It's like they're just wisdom keepers, medicine people of our internal world. And so one thing in many cultures, other cultures, the Aboriginal, a couple other cultures, they believed we're dreaming all the time. That we have our waking dream, and we have a sleeping dream. And Miguel called it point of view, but Castaneda called it assemblage point. And so we have an assemblage point. This is where breathwork really is amazing, because it can shift our assemblage point. We'll talk more about that this afternoon. But our assemblage point is our point of assemblage. It's our point of view. It's our rules, our agreements, our regulations, our limits. It's how we assemble ourselves and exist in kind of the human world, or the program, right? The foreign installation I was talking about last night. And so when we go to sleep, our assemblage point moves. And so that's why in our sleeping dream, we could be swimming, underwater, breathing underwater, and then astral projecting to the pyramids. Like, we can do all this stuff in our sleeping dream, right? And so part of the work is learning how to make our assemblage point more malleable, more movable. So why? So that we can move into the unbelievable. And of course, as we go through our adolescence, the older we get, the more concrete that assemblage point can get. And then, of course, we have these spiritual experiences. I mean, you all are here, so this is not new to you, that help to shift that. And some people, this is where medicine plants come in, at times. Castaneda, Don Juan tortured Castaneda because he was so rigid in his structure. Miguel doesn't believe in medicine plants because he believes that we need to learn to shift our assemblage point ultimately on their own. And so I'm not against medicine plants. I think they have a place. I'm against somebody that comes up and says, I'm on my 97th ayahuasca journey. I'm like, you're missing the point, right? Unless you're an ayahuasquera, like that's your medicine, and again, no real judgment there. And so, that's part of the processes, and so that's when we can look at our traumas, we can look at different things from a different point of view, from a different perspective. We can take the energy out of it. And that's where breathwork really is powerful medicine. And so Toltecs believe we're dreaming all the time, our waking dream and our sleeping dream. In the waking dream, we're really seeing through a filter. This is why we're dreaming all the time. We're not really seeing life as it is. Of course, some of you have done a lot of work, and so if you're a seer, that's when you're piercing the veil. You're seeing more clearly what is the truth. And so through our kind of young years, childhood years, we begin to, like when we're newborns, we have vibrational patterns for sure. We come into this world. But you see a newborn, they're like looking at the world and kind of without interpretation, right? They just see light reflecting light. They don't see necessarily mom or dad or tree or car, or, right? They're like clear. And so through the kind of our childhood domestication, that's what Miguel called it, we begin to create this filter, this program, this collection of stories that we begin to see the world through.